What's up, USMNT fans? This is Rohan from OneGoal. If you're subscribed to our channel, first off, thank you. Second off, you're probably familiar with our tactical breakdown and mini lesson video series. Well, today we are announcing a new video series called Around the Box. What's Around the Box? It's an American soccer / USMNT focused show where me and my buddy Jake go head to head with guests on 5 different topics, all against the clock. So, who are the guests? Other USMNT content creators, OneGoal team members, and our patrons who are helping us out in a big way. So with that being said, here's episode 1 of Around the Box. Let us know what we could do better, let us know what you liked, and let us know what you want to hear debated in the comments below. Thanks guys, enjoy.
Okay, first topic here, Hoppe versus Sargent. So for me, right now, I think Sargent is the better all-around player. Hoppe has proven himself in recent games that he may have a better knack for goal, but I think Sargent is better at doing what we want to do with the national team. I think Sargent is a better fit for Berhalter's system. So right now, I would go with Sargent.
I don't know. I have to disagree with that one, man. When I think about Hoppe, I just see that energy that he brings. He's a hungry striker, a fox in the box, if you want. If you look at his goals, you see something unique each time, whether it was that beautiful chip, whether it was that one-touch finish, whether it was the ball bouncing around in the box and he just pounced on it and put it in the back of the net. That's the type of striker mentality you need at the top 5 leagues in the world. He's showing it for a side that is really struggling, and I think that speaks volumes because he's fearless. He's willing to put the team on his back, and haters will say, hey, he hasn't scored in the last 2 games, but I see 5 goals in 5 games. So if you ask me, Hoppe is taking the cake on this one. Right now, he's on fire, and I think he's gonna jump back onto the scene and score another goal real soon.
My concern with Hoppe, though, is I don't know if he does what Berhalter wants from his striker. Because Hoppe, while he has shown that he can score goals and he's effective in front of the net, he hasn't really done anything else. He's not contributing in the hold-up play. He's not connecting bringing his other teammates into the game, whereas Sargent's really only doing that. He's not scoring, but he's doing that main thing that Berhalter wants from his striker. And then I think that'll better allow people like Christian Pulisic and Gio Reyna to score goals, whereas like Hoppe, I think once it gets to him, it's going to end with him. That's my concern. But I do concede that he's better at scoring the goals. I don't know if he can, if he's going to be the guy.
I don't know, man. I think you need different strikers in the team. And lucky for the USMNT right now, we have a bunch of strikers. But you think about how Sebastian Soto or Giacchini came in and they just were scoring those goals in their debut where they're right place, right time, just knocking into the net, a quick header, a clean finish. I think you do need a striker like that. Yeah, sure, you're going to want a striker who can hold up the ball well and combine with the players. But if you ask me, I don't know if that's going to be the only type of striker that you want. And the system has to be able to adapt when you need a goal, when you're down and you have to kind of put a ball in the net. That's when you need a player like Hoppe who's just going to be hungry, want to get out there and just kick it into the back of the goal.
That's true. Yeah, I think Hoppe would be a great guy to sub in 70th minute when we're goal searching. But to start a game and to like really help us build into the game and boss the game like Berhalter wants us to do, I don't know if he's the guy.
All right, next topic. All right, the USMNT right back depth chart. Who is the backup to Serginho Dest, who we probably are sure kind of has that locked in right now? If you ask me, it has to be Reggie Cannon. I love Reggie Cannon. This guy is a born leader. He's intelligent. He's well-spoken. And he's already proven himself in, not a top 5 league, but in Europe. He's played, I believe, 15, 16 games for Boavista this season. He's really kind of solidified his spot there. He's, a reliable player who's excellent going forward. And if you think about, I believe it was the last Gold Cup, there was a player who was injured and he stepped up and he became, the starting right back for the USMNT. Like, he owned that position. When he gets his shot, he's going to take it. So, soon, if I see him, go to a top 5 league and he starts getting minutes there, people say he might go to Lille. I honestly think if he's performing well in a top 5 league, he could bump up Serginho Dest and take his spot. He's an excellent player, and we have a lot of players in that right back depth chart. I think he's one of the players who's going to stand out the most.
Yeah, it's really hard, right, from the outside looking in, because we can't quantify how important his leadership is and how important those intangibles are to the group. Because I think you're right. I think Reggie offers that much more than anyone else in the right back depth pool. But strictly like based on performances, because that's all we see, right? I don't think Reggie Cannon would be my guy. I would probably go with DeAndre Yedlin, not because Yedlin's significantly better than Cannon, but I think they're pretty comparable. And if it comes down, like if it's close, I'm going to go with the more experienced guy that has, 3 seasons of Premier League experience and 3 seasons of championship experience. I trust that more in a must-win game than I do a guy that just, he's playing in the Portuguese league and has 17 games. I think in the long run, Reggie Cannon will, he'll definitely be the backup. And yeah, it's possible he could take Serginho Dest's spot, but I think he could definitely take the backup spot. But right now, I'm going to go with DeAndre Yedlin. I just trust him more experienced.
Yedlin's out of the picture. Yedlin hasn't been in a USMNT group in a long time. And, whatever reason that may be, I think that Berhalter has been focusing on building team chemistry right now, getting a good mix of young players, experienced players, which is fair. I mean, I guess Yedlin has a lot of experience. You can't knock him for that. But honestly, when's the last time you heard his name, in the red, white, and blue? If I'm thinking about Reggie Cannon, he's that perfect mix of having youthful exuberance, but also like serious leadership capabilities. So for me, still, Reggie Cannon all the way. I love DeAndre Yedlin for what he's done for Newcastle, but I mean, I think his time might be up, or maybe he just falls a little bit down on the pecking order there.
That's fair. All right, next topic. Would Diego Lainez make the USMNT's 23-man roster? For me, I think he does. I know a lot of people within our circle like to criticize him, and there's a Twitter account. How many days has it been since Diego Lainez scored? And I think we're at like 700 right now. But I think Diego Lainez is a really good player, and the way I judge that is when the U.S. is playing a team, who on the other team scares me. And every time Diego Lainez is on the field, I'm afraid because he's dangerous. He's good on the ball. He's good off the dribble. He can hit a pass. He can draw a foul. He's fearless. So yeah, if he's lining up against the U.S., I'm scared, and I would like that kind of guy on our team.
Fair enough. Yeah, I honestly agree. I think he goes nowhere near the starting lineup. That's for sure. Diego Lainez, if I think about our winger depth as well, there is some, there's a couple really good players in there. Certainly going to MLS like Chris Muller and Paul Arriola, Jordan Morris, of course. But thinking European players, Conrad, he's getting minutes for the Barcelona first team. So there is definitely competition there on the bench, but you can't knock Diego Lainez for playing a solid amount of games for Real Betis this season. So again, he's not scoring goals. He's not really lighting the world on fire, but he is a crafty winger, albeit his height issue, which I think Matt Miazga all reminded us of. But I think he's quality enough to make a 23-man roster, maybe position number 23.
Yeah, I mean, the guy coming in at the 70th minute and just coming in to try things when we need a goal or to break down a bunker. I think he'd be great in that role. But yeah, he's not the first name on the team sheet, but if I had to choose between him or Jonathan Lewis coming off the bench, I'm choosing Diego Lainez 10 out of 10 times.
Wow, fair enough.
Yeah, so
I mean, Lainez, I think Lozano is Mexico's best winger. He's doing really well for Napoli this year, so he probably pushes close to the starting lineup, but nowhere does Diego Lainez get near that starting lineup. It's all USMNT players there.
Yeah, I think, Chucky's the only one that can challenge for it right now. But we'll jump into the next topic. I'll let you take it.
Best academy in MLS. For me, I think FC Dallas for a long time has been doing this, or perfected the ability to bring young players in their academy to the professional level. They're really, in the Texas area, where it's one of the hotbeds of soccer in America, they have really established themselves as like a factory of talent. You think about Jesus Ferreira, Paxton Pomykal, players who have gone to Europe before they even made their professional MLS debut. Think about your Weston McKennie's, he's from there, your Chris Richards, right? And they have this incredible youth talent setup where players are already thinking like professionals, playing like professionals by the time they are 18, 19, 20. Players are not going the college route and they're saying, hey, I'm getting a chance to play for FC Dallas. They know what that means. They know that they're going to get minutes playing for that team. They know that they have a chance to compete for hopefully silverware. I mean, they're not totally there yet, but they have made some strides, and just exciting players, right? So you definitely know that a young player coming out of that Dallas area is thinking, okay, I have 1, 2, 3 good seasons at Dallas. I'm gonna get that move to Europe because the system sets them up that way, and you have to respect Dallas. I mean, they are going to continue to do that. I mean, one thing that's interesting, when we interviewed Paxton Pomykal, he said, I can't believe it. I'm the third most experienced player in this team. I mean, I think that says something right there, right? So a player who we think is still really young is already a veteran for that team. So they have that young energy and that mentality built into the system from the ground up. They are, in my opinion, the best academy in MLS.
I think Dallas is hands down the best talent developer in MLS, but I don't think they're the best top to bottom academy. For me, it's got to be the Philadelphia Union. One, they've created a cohesive style of play from their first age group to their senior team, right? It's very consistent. And they've shown that in Brennan Aronson and Mark McKenzie that they can create top level talents from that academy. And in those same players have shown that they can sell them on to a European team for big money. And now with all the homegrown signings they've signed to replace them, they've proven that there's a steady flow, and once they push him out, they can replace him. Whereas you look at like the Red Bulls, where they created a super talent in Tyler Adams, but it's been 3 years and they haven't replaced him. And you look at FC Dallas, yes, they create world-class players in Weston McKennie and Chris Richards, but they're not able to integrate them to their first team, and then they're leaving for a free, or they're for a $1 million transfer, $2 million for Chris Richards. And they're not. So they're not, and then when they have a good player like Brian Reynolds, it's a shit show to sell them on, and it takes 2 months to do it. So
next topic.
Chris Richards' loan move, pending loan move. So is it a good move? Is it a bad move? For me, I'm disappointed. Hearing about this, I'm not happy to hear about it. I know, at his age, it's important that he gets minutes and that he just gets experience, but I want more for him than just playing for a mid-team Bundesliga club, right? Chris Richards is supposed to be the guy to elevate us to the next level. And if he's just playing for a mid-level Bundesliga team, that's not going to elevate us. We've had that before in the past. We've had those like mid-level Premier League guys and Jeff Cameron and Tim Ream. Like those guys aren't going to elevate us to the level we want to be come 2026 and 2022 more recently. So I'm disappointed. I wanted him to earn his spot in Bayern. I'd like him to stay there and just get minutes and work his way in, because he's good enough to do it. I have no doubt in my mind that he can be a starter at Bayern Munich.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Chris Richards, it would have been difficult to say if he was going to be like an Alphonso Davies type player to just kind of walk into the starting lineup. Also, Davies kind of walked into a situation where he got really lucky and that left back spot was kind of open for the taking, and he did well. Chris Richards, though, is following a path that a lot of young players do, and I think makes sense. Getting minutes for a team that's still in the same division. He's playing for Sebastian Hoeneß, who is his former coach at Bayern too. So the guy knows him well. He knows his talent. He knows his technical ability. He knows his versatility. This player, he still is the guy who's going to bring us to the next level from a defensive point of view. I have full belief in Chris Richards, and definitely think that, if he gets the right amount of playing time, which when, a former manager brings you in, he's going to play you, because again, it's the whole, he knows Chris Richards' ability. That's why he specifically reached out to him and brought him in to Hoffenheim. For me, it's a move that makes sense. There's a lot of players that get better with their loan moves, no matter what the league is. This is the right move, certainly, and I can't wait to see what Chris Richards does in the next 6 months.
If he's able to go to the team and like earn a starting spot, and this is a temporary thing, and he's not like part of the Matt Miazga loan army, and it's just a temporary thing to get him experience, and then he comes in next season or the following season and he has his spot at Bayern Munich, I'm all for it. But I'm concerned. I feel like they're moving him on. They're like, let's increase his transfer value, and then we'll sell him on there, and then we're going to bring in the guy that we think we need to solidify our backline. So that's my concern. I
don't know. I think you have to think about what type of club Bayern Munich is, though. I mean, they certainly, they have respect for youth, and they are willing to give young players a chance. Like, think about Pavard, think about, Kimmich, who started playing, at a young age as well. Of course, Davies, right? So they know that they can trust their youth to perform and kind of hit the ground running when they get the chance. But, for Chris Richards, this is something that's going to probably take a little bit more time. I think he will get playing time, given the background and the relationship that he has with the coach. I think that Bayern are planning to integrate him. I mean, they're going to be a little bit low on center back depth with Boateng aging, and I think they brought him in with the perspective to be a long-term replacement there. So, and at the moment, they don't have the room for him in the first team, so it makes sense that he's getting this time.
The main thing that's giving me pause is I read the other day that I think it was Hansi Flick or the sporting director, they were talking about Upamecano, and he's like, oh yeah, we're very interested in Upamecano. We've had talks with his agent and they went well. And it's like, there goes Richards' spot. Like, so that's my concern. But
a good team needs more than 2-3 center backs. Like, a good team needs like 4, maybe 5 center backs, and that is always shifting, especially a team like Bayern Munich, which is going to be competing in like 4 different tournaments. So I don't know. I think Chris Richards definitely still has a shot, and he's gonna, I have full belief in him to do well when he gets his time at Hoffenheim and make a claim.
Hey guys, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Around the Box. But before I go, I want to do a shameless plug for everything we got at OneGoal. Check us out on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter, and check out our weekly USMNT newsletter that we've been running for over 2 years now. Yeah, that's over 100 weekly newsletters. Check it out. And if you really love us, we could use your support on Patreon. Links all in the description. Until next time, and remember, let us know what you liked, what could be better, and what you want to hear debated on Around the Box.